threat to national security.
Oh yeah, but
because I'm not sure that everyone does agree with that.
No. I'm not agreeing either. But that was the message that we were given. So I'm thinking that there must be something. There must be some serious consideration being done in the legal courts right now about what to do with WikiLeaks and injunctions in general if the injunctions won't work anymore.
Well, I know it's an assignment for some law students because they keep asking us about it. But the major law firm in the UK, Carter Ruck, that Private Eye has a different spelling for that organisation. It has an F in it. It has said to journalists that there's nothing that they can do about us because we operate over multiple jurisdictions. I think you are touching on something that is very, very important that I wish I had time to go into, like so many things.
But maybe briefly? Or?
Yeah, okay. Very briefly. That there is there is globalization occurring, okay, that is leading to interaction, fast interaction between states and legal jurisdictions that was previously slow and non-existent. That pressure is driving a tendency to harmonization of legal regimes. That's certainly occurring in the EU as a supranational state. But remember, the reason, other than opposing the Soviets, the reason that the EU was created was this economic interaction. And so the fast interaction that was happening in the EU led to harmonizations. But that's happening all over the world. So we are at a crossroads where we will find out what is the new publishing regime of the world, because it's going to be for the world. It's not just going to be for one country. Will we have the Swedish right to anonymity, which is buried in the Constitution? Will we have the US First Amendment, which in practice, from the bottom down, entry into the justice system and from the Supreme Court? Will we have that Congress, the nation, shall make no law against the press? So taking the press, in fact, outside the law entirely. It is not a matter of law, the communication of information. Or will we have the regime of China or the publishing regime of the UK? Will we have the sum of these things or their intersection? It's a very, very important issue because all media is going onto the internet, all old media and new media. And if there's something like we're seeing in Germany now, where a national mandated internet censorship system has been introduced, we will have nation states and maybe supranational bodies with the ability to, in real time, ban any URL, and that means any newspaper, any TV, Amnesty International, any human rights group, any political party that communicates with its members. That is the crossroads we're facing. We're the vanguard, we're the canary in the coal mine, because we take the hardest publishing case. At the moment, we're surviving through a lot of crafty footwork and making it not economically feasible to censor us. But this harmonization will occur. So I urge everyone to keep your eyes on it, because otherwise you will be working under it and everyone will be living under it.
Okay, we have 4 questions in the pipeline. There's one here.
My name is Jon Lund. I run my own consultancy here in Copenhagen. When you publish material on the WikiLeaks website, then you have actually made sure this is not just fake or not just rumors. You do a lot of work digging into the quality of the leaks.
Yes.
How do you make sure it's not a fake? What do you actually do?
So far as we can tell, and as far as anyone else has publicly stated, we have never made a mistake. We've never released something that we misdescribed. There's some cases for example, in the Kenyan election where a fabricated secret agreement was spreading around by email between a secret agreement between the Muslim minority of the country and the Orange Democratic Movement, which was the opposition. So we've released that with an analysis, but if we release a fake document, we will say it's fake, but it's a true fake, right? It's true that it's a fake, and it's a very important part of political history, and a very important part of what I call history circa now. So it's got to be kept into the historical record where people can analyze it.
Like spend weeks and several men use 3 weeks to dig into this, or are you just yourself doing this in an afternoon? What's the process?
It depends on the document. I mean, depends on the language the document is, where it's from. Do we need to sort of outsource it and get external opinion? Can one of the people who are involved in the editorial process do it quickly? Sometimes we know also where it's come from, so we look at the motivation, the economic cost. We forensically look at the details of these files, which is often very revealing. As an example, not that we did it, but in this Jaeger, okay, I'm not going to say it, in this Hunter book case, if I'm repeating second-hand information, but it is from the Danish press, so it must be true, right? I understand that the metadata on the Word file into which the Arabic translation was cut and pasted when it was sent to BT, that metadata had the Department of Defense in it, and they had forgotten to remove that. So that's an example of something that you can look at, and you can look at that in quite detail. And it's also an example of something that we remove on every damn document we release.
But as I understand it, you also have people all over the world working voluntary for you. I mean, experts, lawyers, and the people that you can actually submit material to look through it and say whether it's true or not.
Yeah, we do. We have, you know, that we have 8,000 people on our mailing list. So many people that if it's not obvious to us, we outsource and get other people's opinions, and that's, you know, absolutely necessary in a case like Iceland. The documents in Icelandic, quite hard for us to deal with. This Kaupthing thing was in English, so that was easy. But we haven't released them yet. Some intercepted SMS messages for the Kaupthing board, and those are in Icelandic, and they're abbreviations because they're SMS messages. So that's something that we really did need to bring in native Icelanders to work on. But that issue is actually the easiest. We thought it would be one of the hardest, but that's actually one of the easiest issues that we have, is verifying the documents. In the end, you call someone up if you can't establish it by economic means and the structure of the document. You call them up and you say, "Did you write it? Yes or no?" And the answer is yes, no, or maybe. The answer has actually never been no for us when we call someone up, because if the document has come out and people don't know how it comes out and they say no, the next thing that may happen is the person that leaked it to us will come out publicly and say it's all true. And then they've said no, and they have the scandal of the document itself. So very, very bad. So organizations tend to never do that. If it's yes, problem solved. There may be some border case where actually it's fake and they still say yes, so it's possible. If it's maybe, well then you can push a bit further. And we do get maybes from US intelligence. So when it's a classified document, we call them up and say, "Tell me about this classified document, is it true or not?" Or one of our affiliated journalists do this. I'm sorry, we cannot confirm or deny because it's a classified document. But actually this is a bit of a lie, because if you call them up saying we have a classified document showing that all soldiers in Iraq rape Iraqi women, there's not going to be a "we cannot confirm or deny" because it's a classified document. The answer will be no. So then you say, okay, you can't confirm or deny this. I'll call you back later. You call back later and you find the first fact in the document and you say, is it true that? You mention this first fact. Is it true that? Mention the second fact. Is it true that? And so on. And at least for